It's amazing, isn't it, really, what you can do when you've got a little tape.
Swamp Donkey Radio, Swamp Donkey Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, kings and queens, none high, none high. Whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. From this point onward, I will be referring to you as listeners. My name is Jan-Hen.
And this is Nadi.
Welcome to the 7th episode of Swamp Donkey Radio.
Yay.
So, super excited about this one. I'm assuming you are.
No.
No, not...
Why would anyone get excited about Firefly?
Finally chose something you like out of the fucking hat and fuck that shit. I just want to talk about stuff you like.
7 episodes later.
You like the stuff that we talked about earlier.
I do.
Well, not all of them. Like, certain green ones. Like the last one.
Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah. You were on your game on the Pokemon trading card game episode.
I know. Wasn't that brilliant? And didn't you love my fart challenge? By the way, if you did the fart challenge, please let us know. I'm actually interested. That was a good one, Marius.
Were you convicted? So yeah, just to let you guys know, there will be profanity in this, number one. This is a South African podcast, by the way, so we're not all we're not all into profanity, but like we are.
We just specifically the two of us and maybe everyone we hang out with.
Definitely Marius.
Except my parents.
Yeah.
They would not be
I don't
happy
hang out
about
with
this.
your parents.
No, you don't. They were here this week, though.
Really?
Yep, visiting.
Shit. Missed it.
Yep.
Missed an epic party.
A lot of fun. They keep feeding me. Good times.
So we're going to be talking about a series this week, and with something like a series or a movie or anything with a story, there will be spoilers in this podcast. Unless it's something we're not talking about specifically in this episode, we won't spoil that, but Firefly will be spoiled in this episode.
Definitely. If you don't want spoilers, don't listen to this episode. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're not gonna apologize.
Nope.
You've been warned.
Yeah, it's your own fault. I don't want to see people going in the comments going like, "Man, freaking you spoiled it, now ruined." No, you're not. You're just spoiled. In the other way, you're a spoiled brat. Shit joke.
But
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Anyway, how was your week?
My week in media has been Zelda, Dragon Maid, Zelda, the whole time.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've just been playing Legend of Zelda, and I haven't even touched Overwatch. I feel so bad.
Okay, but have you played any Legend of Zelda this week? Have you gotten to it?
No, I didn't have time. I just played Zelda.
Okay. How many hours was it?
Guys, I'm 170 hours into Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Switch.
That is insane.
I'm addicted, and I did put the Nintendo Switch as a subject in the hat. By the way, there's a hat that you pull that we pull stuff out of, and we pick it at randomly at the end of the episode. Last week we pulled Firefly, and we were super stoked about it. Well, Nadi was super stoked about it. But yeah, and your week?
Wasn't very interesting. Lots of work. I think it was at the end of last week's episode where I challenged everyone to do a bit of yoga.
Yeah.
Well, I got my flatmate to join me. It was very entertaining. My dog thought it was a lot of fun. At some point, it looked like we were worshipping her. And then at another stage, she sat on my head. Or maybe the head sitting happened first. I can't remember which came first.
But just to preempt that for next time, do it and then record yourself doing it.
I really wanted to, but she shies away from the camera. Also, it wouldn't have worked if I was taking a picture and, it was just my flatmate worshipping the dog.
That would be pretty funny. I'd watch it.
It was weird, though, because we were both just, stretching out and touching her feet and just, head down. It really did look like we were worshipping her.
If someone walked in and be like, hey, whoa, this isn't, my kind of, religion, but, you guys do you.
If someone walked in, I'd be terrified because no one should be able to get in.
Okay. Okay. But that's basically, was that your week? Anything else?
No, my parents were here. My friend from Thailand came to visit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, yeah. With mine, like I said, just Zelda, not even on my own game. I also helped my buddy Michael out with his game last night. Awesome game. I can't wait to talk about it in an episode.
You're way too excited. Calm down.
I can't stop being excited, Nadi. Like I can't, I can't contain myself.
Silent laughter here.
All right. But guys, we're going to be talking about Firefly after this break. This is a short break, but it's because we want to talk a lot about Firefly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Enjoy the music. See you in a bit. Dear listeners, we are back
Welcome back
in space.
to you. Oh yeah, we are.
In space.
Cowboys.
Cowboys, space cowboys.
Yes.
It's an interesting term that I don't know why it just suddenly became popular. It's like space cowboy. Like in other media, it's not just in Firefly. There is literally the genre space western.
What?
Yeah, that's what Firefly is.
But that's a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that movie Cowboys and Aliens came out, but
No, that,
I didn't realize it
I
was
don't
a
think
genre.
No, it's a space western.
Huh. That's cool.
Besides that, we're only talking about one this week.
Just one.
Only one of the many, many, many space westerns out
But
there.
one of the best ones, in my opinion.
So we're talking about Firefly. We're talking about Firefly that was created by Joss Whedon. The guy who recently you might know as the guy who directed the first two Avengers movies. And before Firefly, he also did Buffy.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh man, we should put that in the hat.
we
Hate-
should,
hate
actually.
that show.
Yeah.
I really don't like that show. Seriously, really don't like that show. But you know why? Because when I was younger, I only liked cartoons. So the live action
Oh,
was
okay,
meh.
okay. I was just trying to find a steak to stab you with.
No, I don't eat meat.
But
I do.
sorry. Your face was just like, whoa. Anyway,
So yeah, Firefly stars Nathan Fillion, Gina Torres, Alan Tudyk, Marina Baccarin, Adam Baldwin, Jewel State. I believe the other characters are Sean Meyer, Summer Glau. Yeah, Summer Glau.
Glau.
I remember, and then Ron Glass. And so Joss Whedon was the big driving force behind this show. He directed tons of episodes. I believe he did all of them. I'm not 100% sure on that.
you wrote them.
Yeah, he wrote them. He made a whole universe. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how you see it, this show only had one season.
Not even a complete season, because
Yeah.
it didn't really have an ending. They kind of canceled it mid-series.
Yeah,
Season.
14 episodes.
Yeah.
And in American standards, that's not a long season.
Yeah.
Well, that time. Yeah, that's basically a background of the show. The show's premise is more or less it's a space western. It's a drama television series. It was a TV show, So it's all about space. It's this small group of what would you call them? Their career as in Serenity.
Oh, scavengers.
Yeah, they're kind of just they're cowboys, kind of.
Yeah.
It's the best way to say it. They're just rebellious. They're this rough, tough group of kind of piratey, not pirates. But
Yeah, but they're pirates.
yeah, piratey. You
Yeah.
know? But they fly around in space on their Firefly spaceship. That's where the show's name came from. Called Serenity. And speaking of Serenity, that's one of the only other continuations of the show. It was a movie called Serenity.
It was just to tie up the story.
Yeah.
Tie up all the loose ends.
That's basically the show. The show follows Malcolm Reynolds, the leader of the group, who's played by
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion. Sorry, it just completely blanked out. I can't remember the actor and the and the character's
It's
name.
one or the other,
Yeah,
just not both.
It's not Luke Skywalker. It's Mark Hamill, and those two shall never meet. They will forever be cleft in twain in my brain. I rhymed. That's cool.
You're on a roll today.
I'm a rapper. Around Christmas, because some people can't wrap presents.
I'm pulling a face. No.
Me too.
Anyway,
What are we talking about again?
Firefly.
Oh yeah. So our backgrounds for it, I think personally, I think you'd have a lot more to say about your background with it.
Not really. Basically, many years ago, when I thought I didn't like the sci-fi genre, I was very bored at home, and the movie Serenity came on. It was only later that I realized I do like sci-fi, I just don't like aliens.
Okay, I get that. I get that.
Anyway, but they were
Like the
kind of...
alien genre, kind
Yeah,
of.
I
That kind
don't-
of like Star Trek-y or...
I got used to Star Trek, but like, I think when I was a kid, I saw an alien documentary, and I mean, this is very, very long ago.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
it freaked me out completely, so like, you know...
Oh, so it was like, no, I don't want to do
Big
that. It
head.
kind of freaks me out.
beady eyes. Yeah.
So a show
can't.
about aliens being a antagonist in the in like Aliens, like the movie Aliens or Predator or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah, basically any of those.
But
anyway,
Firefly is more in the sci-fi genre of Star Wars, Star Trek,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's about the science of it, kind of.
and the coolness of it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so super bored. Watched the movie. Loved it. And a few years went by. I met a girl from the States, and she was like, "No, there's a series," and I was like, "What? You're lying." She's like, "No, seriously, here, borrow it." And I binge watched that, and it was just so beautiful. And I freaked out when it was the last episode because it ended. It didn't really end. I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, the end is the movie." I'm like, "No, no,
It cannot be.
It cannot be. Why would you do this? Why would anyone cancel a show this good?" Anyway, that's basically my story. And then
Yeah.
every now and then I meet people that also like it, and I'm just like, okay, let's watch it together. Yay!
So yeah, my background on it was I've heard about it a lot, and a lot of my friends were like, "Yeah, no, it's really cool. You should watch it." And I was never really intrigued by it, just because, same as you, like the sci-fi genre, it didn't really put me off, but it was like, no, I'd rather prefer watching something else. You know, like Star Trek. I never really got into Star Trek. I watched it as a kid. I watched the one show that was kind of like Star Trek that I watched was Farscape. Don't know if you remember that show. It was kind of the same, but like on a really lower budget. So that's like my train of thought when it came to specifically TV shows that were sci-fi oriented. It was like Star Trek, Farscape, that kind of thing. I don't really want to watch a show like that. But I also watched, because I was more into animation, I watched Cowboy Bebop. And then someone said, "Listen, do you like Cowboy Bebop?" It's like, yes. I don't think I've met anyone who doesn't like Cowboy Bebop, you know, or didn't enjoy it. So it's like, no, watch Firefly. Like, okay, cool, I'll give it a shot. And then one time I was on vacation, just had a lot of shows to watch, and then I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to watch Firefly. I know it's only one season because a lot of people have talked about it only being one season. I watched it and I really enjoyed it. So, you know, happiness all around. Still haven't watched Serenity. That's why it's in the hat. Ah, see. And Nadi's pulling like a face of like, what?
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. Oh, now I'm excited to pull Serenity.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Magic hat.
No, you know what? We're probably going to pull Babysitting Mama or something.
Again, yeah.
Oh, update on that. I found my nunchuck.
Yay! So if we pull it this time, we can actually do it.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, unfortunately, like we mentioned a lot in this episode so far, the show is cancelled.
Yep. And I mean, if you're a fan of the show, you know that by now, and you've cried over it a few times.
So there were many reasons why the show was cancelled. So one of the reasons was it was aired out of order originally. So Fox decided, no, we're just going to air this shit like completely out of fucking order. So like, if I recall correctly, one of the last episodes they aired was the episode that introduced everyone. So everyone saw it as a flashback episode. How weird is that?
I'm confused.
It really is.
So confused.
They aired like some episodes out of order, even though Joss Whedon had like, no, this is the order. Like, what? This is a story.
That's
I want
pretty
people to
douchey of them.
I know, right? Another thing is they put it in the what they call it is the Friday death slot. Was they put it? Fox decided to put it on a really shitty slot that like almost no one watches, and lots of shows. Like I think what's that other show? Dark Angel also had that show.
I remember. I love Dark Angel.
Yeah, that also had that same spot.
Yeah,
and
but
it
they
got-
at least had a few seasons.
Yeah. So there's many reasons behind it, and also because when it aired originally, it didn't have a large following. It didn't have that big a following, and probably because it was on that weird slot. And it was also advertised as like a quirky comedy kind of thing. Like as a quirky, like ooh, loony kind of thing.
I mean, it is quirky, but that's not the
But it's
essence
not that
of the
kind
show.
of.
No.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that the show was way, way, way ahead of its time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
It's still like honestly, if you watch the show now, it's still up to standard with some TV shows.
exactly. You wouldn't say that it released more than what?
I think 10 years ago.
Almost.
Yeah.
2002, 2003.
Oh yeah, it's way past 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's still great.
Mm.
It's an inclusive cast and brilliant. Oh, bless Joss Whedon for his beautiful and strong female characters.
Oh yeah. This show had awesome, like strong characters. It did release. I just researched it. It did release 2002. So
Yeah.
it's 15 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. That's weird to think.
But let me think. I
And I
think
watched
I
it, like,
only
2
saw it
years
like
ago.
10 years ago.
I watched it 2 years ago.
Maybe not even 8 years ago that I watched it and became a big fan. How sad is that like so much after it came out, it got this following, this
Yeah, but that's actually the next point we were going to talk about is the fandom now.
Yeah.
Like everyone I've talked to that like, when we talk about Firefly is like, oh man, I wish like they could pick it up again. But it's because the show got like a huge fandom after the show was cancelled.
Yeah.
But it's just because everyone was sharing it, everyone was going like, no, watch this is cool.
Yeah.
Just like me, watched it 2 years ago. I'd like another season at least, or like another movie maybe,
And
or
I mean,
whatever.
all my friends, everyone I've met that has watched it, loved it.
Yeah.
There hasn't been anyone that was like, oh yeah, I saw that show. It was meh.
And I might be biased or stuff, but I think it's one of the big reasons is because it's Joss Whedon. Because the stuff I watched with Joss Whedon, like made by Joss Whedon,
It's all amazing.
it's cool. It's
Yeah.
all something. It's something that everyone can like, especially like, for example, just a small example of it is Avengers. Like the Avengers movies, there's something that someone likes in that movie.
Oh,
it's not
absolutely.
necessarily the same thing.
Like, yeah, he brought that out and everyone was like, oh, superhero movie. And he made it so that everyone could enjoy it, even
Yeah.
people that aren't superhero fans.
Yeah, and because of him, he was actually like, because of his work on Avengers, he was actually the person they kept on referring to when they made the other movies that led up to Avengers 2. And unfortunately, because of controversy, he gave up the role for Avengers 3. But we're not talking about Joss Whedon, we're talking
Yep.
about Firefly. But yeah, there's a huge following for it now, and even the actors have kind of they're nostalgic about being in Firefly. Like if you watch Castle, for example, with Nathan Fillion being the main character there are so many nods to Malcolm Reynolds in there.
Yeah.
Like there's one episode I think where he was dressed as Malcolm Reynolds
For Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I read a lot of the actors, well, one of the reasons why they never did a reboot or another season, even after the Fallen grew, was obviously because of Castle.
Yeah.
A lot of the other actors had
Other roles.
other roles, other commitments. But I think I read recently that Nathan Fillion actually said that he is okay with it having ended, and that one season was enough. Not like enough like, oh, I'm so tired and this is enough. No,
Yeah,
he was
it's-
like, it was good. And it was beautiful and it happened, and let's just keep it at that. Because I mean, I've also read some of the interviews where Joss Whedon said kind of what he wanted to happen in the future if it had continued. And it got dark.
Oh.
It got super dark. Like, that injection you see in the first episode. That
Yeah.
Anara was... Do you know what that was?
No.
Okay, they never go into it. He kind of...
I always just assumed it was like, no, this is like protein or whatever.
Ew,
This is something to help you
It is
out.
basically an injection that kills anyone that rapes you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so there was going to be an episode where, like, the Reavers attack and...
Yeah,
like,
I can see if it released now, it would be a very touchy subject.
And, with Wash being dead now and everything, and it's just... He's right. It was beautiful the way it was, and it wasn't ended. It never got to the point where it got dragged out, where people are unhappy, and it just, it gets bad.
Yeah, where it implodes on itself.
Exactly.
Where everyone was like, no, it should have been one season.
Exactly. So, he has a point. I'm one of those people that I really wish there was a bit more, just because I want to get to know the characters better.
Yeah. Because the characters were enjoyable.
I loved all of the characters. I don't think there's one specific one that I really hated. I really liked all of them. Strong female characters. You said you didn't like Kaylee.
Okay, but I think that's just my personal gripe.
Yeah.
Like, not even from an actor's standpoint, because I'm not a fucking actor. You know, I'm a nerd. That's it. That's just from me. I don't know. That's just personal taste. But I'm not going to get into it just because it's my personal thing, and it's not something that anyone else should take to heart.
Yeah.
Because it's a personal thing. Like, I don't really like her as a character. I did like her later on when stuff got more personal with her, but when the show started, I was like, no, she's annoying. Because that's what she was. She was annoying to me.
I guess it's because you just see she was very one-dimensional at the beginning, but
Exactly.
it's just because you didn't meet her, get to know a lot about her. That's actually one of the reasons why I like her as her story developed. The first time you see her, she's having sex with a mechanic.
Yeah.
She is not ashamed of her sexuality. They keep making jokes without calling her a slut, which is great. And I mean, she's a mechanic, which a lot of people would assume is a male job, but she's super girly.
Yeah.
I think that, that quirkiness you were talking about she's cute, she's girly, but she's also a mechanic, and she's also, open about her sexuality. I love Kaylee. I love all these characters. I could talk about them forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, all of them have their dynamic, and some of them even fit those roles that last time we talked about, like Ninja Turtles as well. Like, they fit in kind of a character archetype kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like Malcolm, he'd be Leonardo. Jane, he'd be Raphael.
Yeah.
So like, there's characters that they fit into those roles as well, and those are just a few examples. And they've got a smart person, they've got a really brainy person, Donatello. That's and there's the weird funny one, Wash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd say well there's kind of a mixture between him and
it's all of them, and the characters are great. Zoe is amazing. Mal, I love Mal.
No, the whole crew was solid. They had a solid dynamic with them. I don't feel any character on the ship was out of place. Even though some characters I disliked, but it's because of story that I didn't like them. It's not disliked as in he shouldn't be in the show. Like Jane, he was a dick.
He was, but he was
treacherous.
He was a hilarious dick.
I know, but that's what I mean. You don't like him because he's being a prat in this episode. That kind of thing where not don't like him as in he shouldn't be in the show.
He delivers some of the best dialogue. Do you know what a chain of command is?
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Even the doctor, Simon Tam.
Simon, yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of in some cases, he's the viewpoint of the viewer because he's the new guy.
He was a bit. The thing is, I love the crew. I love the crew, and I think they spent a little bit more time on them and a lot less on Simon and River's story.
Yeah, but I appreciated that because if that was the premise of the story, then the rest of the crew would have been background characters.
Yeah. And it's a little bit sad because I think maybe season 2 would have concentrated a bit more on them. You would have gotten to know them a bit better.
Yeah.
Even in the movie, I'm not going to talk about the movie, but you don't get to know them that well. But it was great because you meet these characters and you learn stuff about them, and they kind of do become family. And Malcolm is like Daddy Malcolm,
Yeah,
if you love his crew and you're kind of part of the family, and you're family. Everyone's family now.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many shows that do that well, and there's so many shows that don't do it well. But Firefly's one of those shows that do it really well. That kind of we're a team. We're we're a group of whatever, and that dynamic just endears. Is endearing to the audience.
I love Mal because he doesn't do it just as oh yes, I'm the strong protector. He's no, this is just how I feel. And he's a bit dorky sometimes, very rarely, but he also has these moments where he's just what? Yeah. But he's still someone that you want there for you. You want to protect you because you can always trust him.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And you know what? Some of these characters, they can be written. I wouldn't say they're on the edge, but if you wrote down their character traits and you just gave it to someone would go, is this your shitty OC? Is this your shitty original character? Because Malcolm Reynolds is kind of like a Mary Sue character, if you get what I'm saying. A character that someone writes a fan fiction of, but then they insert themselves into the show. But then that character's so OP, or that character has this. Because, I mean, he's a cool guy, but he's also kind of a dork. And he has these ideals. And he's always kind of the guy who they can rely on.
Yeah.
But I think it's Joss Whedon's directing and writing mixed with Nathan Fillion's acting. Just making that character really well. And I think every character on the ship, they just do it well. And other shows like that are like One Piece, the anime, for example. It also has a crew, and it kind of does that as well. Cowboy Bebop, we mentioned that as well. It has that dynamic that fits in perfectly.
See, and luckily, unlike Cowboy Bebop, they stopped before it turned really heart-wrenching and the main characters...
But no spoilers, no spoilers. It's in the hat, it's in the hat.
People die.
No, don't say that, spoilers. She's just like holding her head, like as if it's gonna fall off.
I'm just sad. But, okay,
We're
another character that wasn't really dealt with either in the movie or the series was Shepherd Book. Apparently, they go into a lot more detail with his story in the comics, I think.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't read the comics yet, so.
Same.
Like, I've only seen Firefly.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just really sad because there are some people out there that love it a lot but won't go find the comics or the books or whatever.
Yeah, but it's because they wanted a TV show. I can understand that. I can really get that.
So I'm kind of torn between this because I want to know more about these characters. I want to see them. I want to see their stories. But at the same time...
You don't want to read the comics?
I don't want it to get... No, I don't want it to get sad.
Okay, I get what you're
like,
saying.
Obviously sad stuff happens, but like the way it was going just... Whew, it was too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read some of what was supposed to happen, but I'm kind of going to ignore that just because it's so damn depressing.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
People dying, people being sick, people just, oh gosh, no.
Yeah, that we mentioned Serenity and the comics, and that's the legacy that the show left.
It has a massive following. People that really, really love the show.
And this is actually kind of a mini recommendation from my side, is like, if you've already seen Firefly, watched Firefly and seen Serenity, go look for the comics. Go read the comics.
Yeah.
Officially. Don't try and maybe, I don't condone pirating at all, but see if you can find the first issue somewhere, and if you really like it, try and get the comics. Try and buy the comics.
Yeah, finding the DVDs in South Africa is a bit hard.
No, but you can import them.
You can import them?
Yeah. Well, not at our current political status. Just hold out on it.
Yeah.
But if you can find it on, let's say, I don't know if it's on Netflix or not. Firefly.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know, but if you can find some way to watch it legally online, cool. Hulu, or I don't know. I don't think Hulu's here, but
no, but I think we can still buy. Anyway.
Yeah. But sure.
The point is, the characters are amazing.
Yeah. The show is amazing. The story is amazing.
Is amazing. It's hilarious and funny and witty, and oh my gosh, those people make me giggle every time I watch it, even though I've heard the joke 10 million times.
Yeah.
The sets are also amazing. It's beautiful, the details, the stuff. If you just look at everything that's happening, everything that's going on in the background, it's amazing. They have a mix of different cultures, and it's cosmopolitan and beautiful, and
they mix it up a lot, and it kind of tells you, not even by explaining it in the show, but it tells you a story of where this world went.
Exactly.
Because they speak the three languages the two languages, but technically three they speak English, and then they speak the two Chinese languages, Mandarin and Cantonese. And sometimes they use Mandarin, or I believe it's Mandarin, as when they swear.
Yes, when they swear, it's funny.
Yeah, so I think that's genius. If you read back into the lore of it, there's actually an explanation of why, that kind of thing. And that's the thing I love about it. It's just a season, but there's so much lore behind it that you can read up on. And I think the same with something like Star Wars or Star Trek, something that already has a huge following. That's the reason why it has such a huge following, is because there's so much
deep.
It's so deep.
There's it's so rich. There's it really is another world, something you can explore and pick up little pieces of, and just really enjoy everything.
Yeah.
Like every little bit of it is enjoyable. I'm sure there are people that didn't enjoy it and that picked up things that they didn't like. But
Yeah, and I mean, more power to you if you
Yeah.
didn't like it. I'm not saying like if you don't like this. I mean, there's some things that have huge followings that I'm not a huge fan of.
yeah.
I mean, it's fine if you don't like it, but we're just gushing about how cool it is to us.
Yeah, because I don't think there will ever come a time in my life that I won't like this show.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, I'm not even saying I'd watch it like on a yearly basis.
I do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm gonna say. Like some people are like that. You're like that. But I'm not like that, but I still enjoyed it for what it is. I'm not a super fan. I mean, I actually had the opportunity to maybe buy a small model of Serenity, like a model ship of Serenity, and I was just like,
Meh.
I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
It's a cool show. It's a really cool show, but I'm not that big a fan.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy a Legend of Zelda statue or something like that, you know? There's one thing I actually wanted to mention, like two trivia things that I want to mention that as I was reading up on it, that I was like, oh, cool. So if you guys are familiar with Cowboy Bebop, there's another show that's kind of similar, or in the same semi-genre. It's called Outlaw Star. It's an anime. If you watch that show, it's kind of an anime version of Firefly, in the sense that the leader is very similar to Malcolm Reynolds. The engineer of the ship is a very quirky girl. Some of the characters have very similar, like the characters on that ship also have a very similar connection to the other characters on Firefly.
Is that in the
Outlaw Star.
hat? Because I'm writing that down. I want to watch it now.
Yeah. We should put it in the hat because I didn't put it in the hat. I put Cowboy Bebop's in the hat, but it isn't. And also, guess how the first episode starts? Or how the first episode ends?
A war?
They find a girl in a container,
Oh!
frozen. And it's a cliffhanger, just like in Firefly.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird, but apparently Joss Whedon also, he didn't know it existed. He's like, I've never heard of that show.
That's awesome.
Which is like, did you really, Joss?
I don't know. It's possible for people to have ideas that are like...
Super similar though. It's weird how because even if it's like, okay, yeah, no, sure, you didn't know about this show, but it's still weird how those similarities are like on point with each other.
It doesn't matter. It gives my little heart something else to look forward to.
Yeah. Another little, just one tiny little piece of trivia. So you know the Alliance's uniforms, the purple.
The purple bellies, yes.
Have you ever watched the movie Starship Troopers?
I don't think so.
If you watch Starship Troopers and you might recognize the uniforms,
Oh dear.
they actually repurposed, I believe it was Joss Whedon who actually got the suits from Starship Troopers repurposed into the Alliance outfit. It's the exact same outfit except it's painted purple.
That's
They were
pretty
painted
cool.
black in Starship Troopers.
Recycling is good.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Even though like some people go like, oh, cheapskates. No, that's cool. I think that's awesome.
Repurposing Easter egg. Yay.
And I mean, one thing that I'll also just mention quickly before, there's so much connections between Firefly and Star Wars. Like, there's so much inspiration taken from Star Wars. I mean, because it's fucking Star Wars. But like in certain scenes, you'll actually see a small model of Han Solo, cryogenically frozen, frozen in carbonite, like a little figure of him. I believe it's in Zoe's room, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah, just look at the background. There's a little Han Solo. It's so weird. It's like, oh, cool.
Oh.
But yeah, but obviously, we recommend the show.
Obviously.
But just to put it in perspective, if you're not a huge fan of stuff like sci-fi,
If you don't like
or-
sci-fi, it's not gonna be worth it.
yeah, if you're one of the people who go like, man, Star Wars is okay, but like that Star Wars is enough for me, or I'm not a big fan of Star Wars or whatever.
But I mean, even if you're not a sci-fi fan, but maybe you were a Buffy fan, and you like the dialogue and the witty banter, Firefly has all of that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, but if you, and this is from my perspective, if you like Cowboy Bebop, give the show a watch. Because
It's the less depressing version.
that's how I came to watch it. So that's just from my perspective. If you enjoyed Cowboy Bebop, you'll probably enjoy this. And that's basically it, guys. That's basically it. is there anything else you'd like to gush about Firefly, or do you think everyone's tired of us gushing about Firefly now?
Probably, because I could continue about how much I love each individual character for another 2 hours.
Okay, you have to choose one favorite character.
One? Just one?
Just one. Not giving you anything else. One favorite character. Note the silence as you see the wild Nadi trying to decide.
I have to go with Mal.
Mal.
Yeah, I mean, I love all of them. Wash is so funny and adorable, and he worships his wife. Kaylee is just the sweetest thing. Oh, jeez, no. Why are you making me choose one?
It's like Sophie's Choice, but with Firefly characters. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you mine.
Yeah, you go first.
Malcolm. Also like Malcolm the most. Like, everyone is cool, but I like Malcolm the most. He's the most entertaining in general. Every one of them is entertaining in their own way, but I can assure you I'd probably get annoyed by them if 5 episodes after each other was just about Wash, for example. You know?
Yeah.
Or just about whoever. Especially River, you know?
River would be interesting. I loved Inora. I really wanted to be her. I was like, oh, she's beautiful and she's smart and she knows
She
how
gets
to...
money for sex.
Dude, it's not about that.
No, I'm kidding. I don't have a
She's just
problem with
like, she's brilliant and she's smart anyway.
that.
But
It's how the culture in the show is. So it's fine.
Yeah, but... Yeah, I think I have to stick with Mal.
No, same. I also like Mal the most. So, if you guys have any suggestions for us to watch something, you can put it in the hat. But also, while you're doing that, tell us who your favorite character is.
Like, subscribe, and make fun of us.
Yeah, please, make fun of me. I have a way stronger accent than Nadi does, so, like, make fun of that, please. Butt is part of my body.
I was just gonna say, touch the butt.
Touch the butt. No. So, that's our review of Firefly. And
Hope we weren't too gushy.
we probably were. We're heading into that direction where we have to decide or find out what we're reviewing next. So I pulled
Last week.
So it's your turn to pull. Do you hear that? So I shall give you a drum roll.
Thank you.
The next episode is
Cards Against Humanity.
Woo! Cool, a card game.
Yay! Also one of the best ones in the world ever.
I agree.
Yay!
I'm actually going to try and do something a bit weird with the next episode, but I'll leave that for the next episode. I'm not going to give anything else away.
Kill. Kill.
So we're going to end this show now with a challenge from Nadi.
From me.
Yes, from you.
None from you?
No, I'm not going to give challenges. I give recommendations. You give the challenges.
True. My challenge this week, I was going to make it very inappropriate.
Please make it inappropriate.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
The Batman challenge.
Yay. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to make
Do
it
tell.
inappropriate without making the noises. Anyway, as you know, what most people say during sex does not count. Don't believe it. If they can say it when they're not having sex, then believe it, not during, okay?
Sure.
And we also had a discussion about how you would tell someone that you were Batman if you were Batman. And I decided that during sex would be the best time.
Oh.
So
Sure.
the challenges...
Go on.
Tell someone you're Batman during sex. If you're a chick, that's even better.
Wasn't it as soon as you reach climax?
Yes. Thrust. I am Batman.
I'm gonna Batman. Well, after doing yoga, you're at least ready for it because you stretched.
No. We're not going there.
We wait there long.
This is a theoretical. It's all up there in the universe. It's not... Recommendation, give it.
My recommendation is telling people to say you're Batman. No, I'm kidding. My recommendation would be, since we were talking about Firefly, my recommendation would be to watch Serenity and to at least read the first issue of the Firefly comic. Try and find it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, assuming you can find it.
Yeah, because that's what I'm going to try and do now.
Okay.
Because I'm interested in it. Because I only recently found out that there were comics, actually. So I think it's a good, like, leeway into it without us making a whole episode about it. But I personally think if I read the first comic and I found it interesting and I really want us to talk about it, I'm going to put it in the hat. And if you guys want us to put it in the hat, so if someone already read it and they listen to this podcast and you guys think, listen, let's have them talk about it. Cool. Let's make it an episode. That's about it. That's this whole show.
That is it for this week.
Yeah. So please enjoy the next episode as soon as it comes out, and please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.